how do you cope with loss? And no, I'm not talking about the meme, I'm talking about loss in tournament or just loss in general life. Now I know this is a deep concept, and I know my channel tends to rely on comedy-based things and more event, like editing showcases, stuff like that. But I've always wanted to talk about more serious topics and just generally get my thoughts and feelings out there. So I asked on Twitter, a few people responded back, what do you do to cope with your losses? A few people got back to me, mostly Melee related, and a friend got back to me on just another concept or feeling that he has. So I'll talk about theirs and then I'll finally talk about mine. And if you're not interested in this video, I'm sorry. It's just something that I wanted to do because, I don't know, I just like it. So let's start off, talk right here. I'm gonna mention names for the Twitter ones just because they're publicly posted on Twitter so anybody can read them, so it's not like I'm hiding anything. And I won't mention anybody who DMs me or messages me just because maintain their privacy. So one person came back to me, Jude or Greasy. He said, letting my emotions do their thing for a bit, but keeping in mind that I can and will do better. So what he's talking about here is that it's really important to keep your motivation towards what you're doing, and also, I guess, let yourself be upset. You're allowed to be upset after a loss. You're allowed to be upset in general, but you need to just let your emotions relax. Let them do their thing, and then eventually it'll get itself figured out. If you're attached to the game, then you're gonna get emotional about it. You're gonna feel upset, feel like you can't do better. But he is mentioning that you always will be able to do better. But this ties into what my other friend mentioned, Nate, or Buggin in the region. And he mentioned exactly, from Melee side, losses don't really hit me that hard, being a good or bad loss. Losing just makes me want to be better and practice more because I know it's nothing more than my own skill that's making me lose. He's from the Lehigh Valley region, which I'm part of too. So we don't get that much practice, we don't have crazy good players here to help bring up the lower end of things. So he understands that why he's losing is just skill-based. It's the other person beating him. It's not really like a mentality thing for him. It's just he's using every loss as motivation to get better and probably learning from it too. You need to understand that, especially on this lower scale, like maybe if you're a higher end player, like top 5 in the world, and you're losing to number 1, then maybe you need to figure something else out other than playstyle. Maybe mentality is a situation. Maybe you're not working hard enough, but at this lower level, there's obviously tons of room for improvement. You just need to get up to that point. And now we have another person, Dawson, who I've played in tournament a couple times. I don't know him too well personally. He said, I try to take away things that happened and look for something to improve or something I did well. This in particular helps get rid of the salt. So this is kind of more of a distraction thing rather than let the emotions go. He's trying to take away everything that happened and look for something to improve on. So this is more of an optimism point of view, which isn't always the easiest thing to do, but it's definitely a really smart thing to do. Whenever you feel stressed out or just need a moment, honestly just take a deep breath. In Melee, you have that spawn platform, utilize that time. You can take that time to take a deep breath, just relax your mind. Start your mind off the same way your stock is, fresh. You can clear your mind, regardless if you're 1 stock to 4 stocks on them, you can continue to play the game as if you're 4 stocks to 4 stocks. It's not over until it's over, and you need to remind yourself that in any way you can. So what my friend mentioned is every time you're on that spawn platform, taking that breath, think of why you died, why you lost that stock there. So you can apply this to life by saying things like, why did I get upset there? What affected me? So say maybe a bad grade got you. So you think, why is this bad grade upsetting me? Because I want to do well, I want to pass, I want to not take this class anymore, or take that bad grade any way you please. And use that to motivate yourself to just work harder. And you might have worked so hard already, but sometimes you just need to push through. Just ask for help. We're gonna do jump cuts, because a lot of the stuff I say is rambling. So I wanted to make this show called Battery Baffles, but I don't know if that works. So I wish there was a way to say like my tag was Rattery, so it could be like Rattery Rambles or something like that. But that would be an awful tag. So let me mention what my friend texted me. Music always softens the blow for me. Whether mild or tragic, it's always there. Also, expressing that grief to others is always very helpful. So what I like the first thing he mentions, because he says he relies on music to do that. And I think that is a great option. So a lot of people after their loss, they'll go to their friends, and sometimes their friends don't know what to say or don't know what the best thing is to say to somebody that loses. I honestly don't know what to say to my friend who just lost. Sometimes I'll make a joke, but that could just make it worse. But relying on music is a great thing because you know what song you like. You know what song you want to listen to at that moment. And that song won't change. Like maybe you could listen to like a live version if you're getting really specific about it, but that song will always be that song to you. It'll sound the same every single time. And that's just a good way to use something that doesn't change to get yourself back in a mood that you know it gets you in. So personally, I know I always get happy when I hear the song Girls by the 1975. I don't get to a point when I lose that I need that yet. We'll get there. And the other thing he said was, expressing that grief to others is always very helpful. Yes, if you have a friend around, you can just rant to them. Just make sure they're okay with it. You don't want to push your negativity on them too. Negativity doesn't need to spread. Spread the love, spread positivity. So here's two things real quick that I don't think would be a very good response. The first one, we got lay in bed and cry. You're not gonna get anywhere doing that. You need to get up, do something about it. Of course, well, you're always welcome to lay in bed and cry, but I'd say that's the easy way out. You gotta find something else to do. I got another one as I was doing this. One I just received is don't lose. Sometimes it's not that simple, but if that's what you're doing, Nick, keep it up. And then this one, you know what? I can agree with this one. Drugs and masturbation. Yep, definitely start you doing that. That always puts a smile on my face. Actually, don't actually do that unless they're doctor prescribed drugs. And doctor prescribed masturbation. All right, and now I wanted to talk about how I would deal with losses. So I personally, I don't get too affected by losses because whenever I lose or something, I'll tend to stay positive, get around my friends, and I guess that's really what helps me, getting around my friends. But I also bring my camera to most events that I'm at, so I usually get motivated to go do camera stuff instead now. Because sometimes I'll be playing and I'll hear like a really hype moment going on in the distance. I'll be like, well, maybe I shouldn't have entered this tournament because now I'm missing that shot. So that's usually what motivates me to get back into it. But I feel like I used some of the previously mentioned tweets and messages to explain what I think you should do in the situation when you lose. And as much as I wanted this to not be about Melee, it ended up being about Melee. But that works out because most of you want to hear about Smash Bros. Anyway. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I decided to choose this topic over a different topic because I wanted to have an easy way of wording something to people online. I wanted to do a topic like, say you're at my point in play right now, where you're better than all the lower level players, but you're nowhere close to the higher level players. What motivates you to play? Like, you're going to a tournament like Shine or something, and just barely making top 64, so you're getting like 63rd at these tournaments. Do you take the time to get up there and sacrifice other things in your life, or do you stay satisfied with that ranking and just keep it there? Because to get to that higher level, you need to take an extra step and you need to sacrifice something to get there. So that's what I'm gonna make next week's question. I don't know how to word it on Twitter, so I hope people watch this and then just ask from there. But for now, if you want to be a part of that I don't know if it's next week. I want to make this a weekly thing, but I also want to get other content out to you. I want to get content that everyone can enjoy, and I feel like this specific content will only fit such a small group of people. So if you want to partake in an episode like this, you gotta follow me on Twitter at battery_fx, and that you can DM me any suggestions on comments. You can respond to them when I post those questions, and you'll most likely be featured in a video. And you gotta get in there quick before I get too famous, because I featured every single response to my tweet today. So before I make it big time, make sure you follow and you start responding to these tweets. Thank you guys very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If not, well, I'm sorry. I'm really letting you guys down recently. Hope you guys enjoyed that SmashCon video though. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.